we should be on page, 85. So this is page 85. Go ahead and turn to page 85. Now we're looking at number 1, and they kind of write down our first step for us already, so I'm just going to highlight it. It says, what is 5 times negative 8 plus 3? This is going to be our first step. It's going to be to simplify the inside of the parentheses first. So that could be step 1. I'm also just going to add using adding rules. Right? We need to remember our adding rules. So if I'm looking at the inside and I want to simplify that, I'm just looking here, negative 8 plus 3. Now notice that we have different signs, so we need to find the difference of the absolute values. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8, and the absolute value of 3 is 3. So 8 minus 3 is 5, and we keep the sign of the bigger absolute value. 8 is bigger, so I'm going to keep the negative sign. So now that I've simplified the inside, I can bring down, so this is the inside. Now bring down your 5 times your negative 5 from here. 5 times negative 5, remember your multiplication sign, so step 2, multiply. And I'm just going to write a little hint that same signs equal positive, and different signs equal a negative. Then from there, so we have 2 different signs, right? I have a positive 5 times a negative 5. So my answer is going to be negative. And 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, the next one is simplifying by distributing the 5 first. So that's going to be my first step, is simplify by distributing the 5 first. And I'm just going to add more onto that. We're going to write multiply by 5 to each term. So we're going to do that by distributing first. So I'm going to rewrite it as 5 times negative 8 plus 3. Distribute the 5. 5 times negative 8. So I'm going to write that. That means multiplication plus 5 times 3. 5 times negative 8. Remember, using our multiplication rules, 2 different signs means my answer is negative 40. 5 times 3 is 15. And then from here, remember that we need to use our adding rules. So step 2 is add. And I'm just going to write my little hints down here. So different, same signs. Add absolute value. Keep sign. This is just a reminder of what it is. And different signs. Remember, we are subtracting absolute values and keeping the sign of the bigger absolute value. Okay, I know that was a lot to write, so pause this video and write it down. But these are just the rules that we should have memorized anyways. We worked really hard on them last unit. So from here, I'm going to, I notice I have a negative and a positive, so I have different signs, so I'm going to be using this step instead. So I'm going to subtract the absolute values. So take the absolute values. We have 40 minus 15. 40 minus 15 is 25, and then 40 is bigger than 15, so I'm going to keep that negative sign for a negative 25. So it's kind of like putting together our multiplication rules and our adding rules. So the next one, a little bit longer, same thing, we're going to simplify the brackets first. So inside here, let's simplify, let's ignore a little 5 or negative 5 on the outside and simplify inside first. Let's combine like signs, so let's make this our first step by combining like signs. Okay, that's going to be our first step right there. Simplify by combining like signs. Put my positives together. 4 and 7 makes 11. Plus, how many negatives do I have altogether? Negative 18. Now I can bring down my negative 5. Let's simplify even more. Now using my adding rules, I have different signs. I have it written right here. I'm going to subtract the absolute values. So let's do 18 minus 11, which equals 9. 18 is bigger than 11, so I'm going to keep 18 sign, which was negative. Then bring down my negative 5. Step 2 is to multiply. And remember, I have same signs. Now I have a negative 5 and a negative 9. So my same signs, my answer is going to be positive. So a positive 5 times 9 is 45.